Hello, and welcome to episode 167 of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined by Matthew Figuera.
I wonder if avid watchers, sorry, audio listeners, this is not for you, but if avid watchers of the show would notice the lighting is different.
Ever so slightly.
If ever so slightly, and I'll give them 5,000 bonus points if they can answer why in the next 5 seconds.
Well, that would be, it would be pretty difficult for them to let us know in the past.
No, just wherever you're watching now, just go, oh, why is the light different? I'll tell you why. Load shedding. We're recording in the afternoon.
We're not recording in the dark.
I don't think we've ever recorded in the afternoon. Ever.
We've recorded in
evening.
We've done an evening one.
Yeah.
Yes, like an evening one, like on a Saturday or well, actually, it's usually been during the week.
It's weekdays, yeah.
Yeah. But in the middle afternoon, not really. I do like on your video at least, you've got like your orange blend down and then a light right there, so it kind of looks like the sun.
It's morning here in the States.
It's like burning hot
Sun's
outside.
Just come up.
It's actually the apocalypse happening outside right now.
My goodness.
If you could only see your tortoises scratching at the window, praying to come inside.
That's terrifying. Please. Well, actually, it's been so hot that they've taken to swimming, which is not cool.
What?
Because we find them in the pool, but they have no means to get out, so we have to get them out. Yeah,
that is not good. That is a very protracted way for a tortoise to commit suicide. That is.
Except it's like I've lost the will to live. I'm just gonna swim around though for an hour or two.
So wait, do they like kind of float? Or?
No, they swim. Do they swim? Yeah, it says they just swim.
But surely their shell is like quite buoyant.
No, but they leopard tortoises, apparently tortoises can't. I think generally are not good at swimming, but this specific breed are capable of swimming. So it's been so hot that
they just dive back. But I guess, like you said, they get tired and then they can't get out, so they can just drown.
Yeah, well, there's no means for them to get out. There's no stair or. So yeah, we've had to be very careful.
What are they swimming in?
The pool.
Because the pool, but the pool's very far from where they usually are.
No, but they roam the whole property. They go up to the front yard. They do their thing.
I thought they couldn't. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's grass, like garden. Then there's a gate, and then there's like bricks, and then you have to go around in like a U-turn sort of shape, and then there's the pool. So I thought they couldn't get out to the like bricked place.
No, they climb. They can climb like baby stairs.
Yeah, I guess leopards in the name.
It's an actual problem.
So and the dogs don't like freak out when they see these things like waddling in the water.
I'm sure Ella's like, yay, someone to swim with.
Because she swims by herself. She's a lab. Yeah.
So
she just goes in and cools herself off with the
she's like,
tortoises.
What a good idea.
Hey, don't drown out there right now. I'm going to go relax.
Okay, bye. Yeah, I'm going to go nap now.
Oh my goodness.
So it's been a time, but we're thinking of how to form barricades that they cannot go to the front yard.
Have you had the unfortunate accident of losing a tortoise in the pool yet?
Actually, my father-in-law and them have. Yeah, a tortoise drowned, except they took it to the vet and it was fine. So
what?
Yeah, after how many hours?
No, we found at the bottom of the pool in my day.
Tom actually gave this tortoise mouth to mouth. Took it to the vet and it was absolutely fine.
Amazing. Amazing. I would love to have seen that and love to have seen like tortoise CPR or something.
Just imagine any scene of Baywatch, but instead of a drowned child, it's a tortoise and it's Tom. Instead of
Tom
like Pamela Anderson.
Well, Tom, I guess instead of what's his name?
Or David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff, that's the one. And then when you got in the car with the tortoise, he turned into Knight Rider and he was racing off to the vet.
He's like, kid, get me to the vet. And the kid's like, okay, Tom.
My God. Yeah. I know, well, I wasn't there at the time, but my mom loves telling the story. Our little it's a little terrier. It's like a Chihuahua, but it's not a Chihuahua. Fuck. You know my dog Pikachu? Yeah, but I've forgotten. I've like blanked on his breed now.
A Yorkshire
Terrier. That's a Yorkie. So before we got him, he actually like, he was being sterilized, and he like died on the operating table. Like
what?
He completely like flatlined. So the vet, like did mouth to mouth on him and then did CPR. But my mom was there at the time. And apparently, because, at that time, Pikachu was even smaller. He was still a puppy. And to not like actually like cave in his chest, the vet was using just his 2 index fingers to like pump little CPR on this dog.
Amazing.
Eventually came back alive. And I would love to have seen that. Absolutely love
That's why his name's Pikachu, because it wasn't the CPR. Turned out the paddles from the nearby medical equipment touched poor Pikachu and got zapped back to life. I know the truth.
Yep.
You won't spread it, but
that's
amazing.
Genuinely a Pokemon. Yeah. So I would love to see. I also don't the tortoises need to be taken to like a specialist vet, or does any vet just be like, yeah, cool, I can deal with the tortoise?
I have no idea. I imagine I have to believe that, a percentage of vets would know how to, but maybe it's not common practice, No.
Because I always know like
Lenska shakes her head in my peripheral vision.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know sometimes you have to go to specialist ones if you've got like snakes or like weird pets, like hedgehogs or something like that.
Well, just on that, we're on a tangent of animal rescues. Yeah, I heard a story last week or the week before about there was a gorilla at the Joburg Zoo.
Excuse me? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say in someone's
No. This is a long time ago, and apparently there was a criminal on the run, and they fled into the zoo, and they ended up climbing into the gorilla's cage or the gorilla's pen, whatever it was, and they ended up shooting the gorilla.
Oh no!
The gorilla was rushed to Mill Park Hospital, where it received surgery, and it survived.
Whoa, that is cool.
So that's a weird thing of like, you're a doctor, you can operate on humans. Gorillas are kind of very similar because they're primates.
Whoa.
And can you get rid of these bullets?
Could you imagine just having such a slow day in the ER and next thing a fucking gorilla just
appears?
A gunshot victim gorilla. And it's like, yeah, I guess this is Joburg. That makes sense.
Listen, I feel very sorry for the gorilla, but can you imagine how that criminal shut a brick when they realized they were in the pen with the gorilla?
Like gorillas, fucking cool animals, but Jesus.
Lenzi says they did catch the guy. So,
did they?
Yeah.
This is a good story all around. Gorilla survived. Criminal court.
Listen, just be married to somebody who has a very big interest in heritage. You find all these awesome stories of Joburg. I just surface.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask how this connects to heritage, but that makes sense.
It's just a neat little story.
Is Lenska working next to you?
She is sketching, not actually working, just sketching for a change.
Wait, what does that mean? Is it like sketching for fun?
It's for fun, yeah.
Oh, okay. What's she sketching?
A home, I think. It's just started.
It's your future home.
Sketching a thing.
Sketching your future home.
Sketching a friend's house as a gift.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, okay. I actually didn't know Lenska had artistic talent like that. I thought it was more technical drawings.
My goodness, where have you been your whole life?
Clearly not dating your wife.
Oh, thank God. My goodness, yeah.
Cool. I mean, this Checkpoint Chat would talk about gunshot victim gorillas and video games. So yeah, cool. This is the Episcape sequel that you never asked for.
Episcape 2, except it's not the Episcaping, it's the criminal.
Did Episcape really have a lightsaber in it? Like,
basically,
I have this like. I never played it like properly, but I remember it always being on like TVs at like Pick and Pay and shit like that, and I would be like, "Wait, is this Star Wars?"
It's
like, what's going on here?
Here's a fun story related to that. Episcape, I think I could be wrong, but I think it was one of the first, if not the first, game that made use of the DualShock controller. Because when the PlayStation 1 launched, it did not have the handy little thumb thumbsticks. It was just
I think you're right. Yeah.
But I played the game with a non-dual stick, dual stick controller.
A dual stick, yeah.
And it was horrible. I didn't know why it was so difficult to control, and you can't. Like, it's impossible to play the game because you need to rotate the camera.
Yes.
But I don't know.
So wait, how did it work without the DualShock?
You couldn't rotate the camera.
Oh my god! Okay, so it was straight up did not work. Okay,
it was the worst. Yeah, I was like, this game not great.
I remember in those older controllers, it used to have a button to actually activate and deactivate the thumbsticks.
Right.
Like, it used to have a button in the middle that you pressed, and then there was like a small red light.
Yeah, I actually do remember that.
And it was it said DualShock, and it would then activate the sticks. And
amazing.
Well, as a kid, I was always like, Jesus, these things are fucking terrible. Who would ever use this? And now,
probably one of the best inventions in gaming. The thumbstick.
Genuinely.
Who knew?
Yeah, and the technology behind preventing drift has not progressed in 30 years since then. So
it's been a dark road for thumbstick drift. Please.
Imagine where humankind would be if we figured out thumbstick drift.
This generation of gaming, all about load speeds. Next generation, fixing that thumbstick drift.
They'll be like, remember drift? Psh, we've got negative drift now. You press left, you actually go right because the drift is so negative.
Revolutionary.
Fucking revolution. We have redefined an axis of movement.
I can't believe this. We've introduced a fourth axis.
I mean, we give that shit, but Google, when they spoke about Stadia at the first time, they were like, we don't have latency, we have fucking negative latency. Our network predicts your next move, so you have negative latency. It's like, the only thing negative about Stadia is your profit margin.
Wow. Put on your CSI glasses and shout, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Video games.
Talk about
we played them. Last week we alluded to the fact that we were playing something we couldn't speak about. Well, I was.
You was.
Matthew hasn't had the chance to play, but I'm sure by now you've seen that I've been playing Forza Horizon 5. My review's up on GameSpot, and I'll just come out and say it. It's the best one. Which is,
my goodness,
pretty much what you hope for from the next game in a, now I think you can safely call it a very long-running series.
Yeah, it's been around. I mean, they released, although 4 didn't come out that long ago. It feels like maybe 2 years ago, I'd say.
I think it was 2-3 years ago. Yeah. So the reason it doesn't feel as long ago is because usually what would happen was you would alternate between Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport. But Turn 10 has been taking a long time with the next Motorsport because they kind of want to use it as a reboot platform. I think I would not be shocked if they're going the sort of
Halo service,
Infinite route, where this is the platform we're going to use for a very long time. And so Playground Games, the UK-based studio, had enough time to kind of put out another Horizon. And I've said this a lot, but the Horizon franchise has, for the past probably 6-7 years, been the best racing franchise, in my opinion, just out there. Like, it was all doing open world racing in Forza Horizon 2 that hasn't been matched yet. You know what I mean?
My goodness.
And so they've just been iterating on that formula, and the likes of Need for Speed. I mean, what other racing franchises are there? There's no Burnout anymore. So
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo Sport. Gran Turismo is a whole other thing. I think Gran Turismo is still it is still a sim.
Serious,
so it's more, it's more like a comparison point to Forza Motorsport. I don't think comparing the two is even worthwhile. But yeah, so if you've never played a Horizon, the low-key bullet points are you are part of what is called the Forza Horizon Festival, sorry. And essentially this is just like a racing series that kind of like globetrots the world. Horizon 2 was a sort of amalgamation of a lot of European cities, like Italy and France and stuff like that. 3 was Australia, which was really fun. I really enjoyed 3. 4 was Britain, which I enjoyed, but wasn't my favorite setting. And then now 5 is Mexico.
Yeah.
And Mexico feels a lot like 3's Australia. Yeah, because it kind of brings you so many different sort of biomes and hubs to explore. So you have you have dense city areas, and then just, not far from them, you have tons of arid sand dunes across the coast. And then you've got like dry outback, you've got dense jungles, you've got wetlands and very arid like deserts, but with vegetation. So you've got a lot, going on, and you get cool things like, if you're watching the video now, like sandstorms can crop up, or tropical storms when you're in the jungle, which can like be like heavy rain and stuff like that.
You can't see a thing.
So yeah, there's such a variety to the entire map. A map which Playground Games says is around 50% bigger than number 4, which
my goodness,
I didn't really outwardly feel, because I just enjoyed driving around it so much that I wasn't like focused on, oh man, it's going to take me forever to get from here to here. I just enjoyed driving from point to point. And that's something that I didn't really get from 4, because like Britain is nice and all, but I just found it all very samey, to be honest. So
it's like the countryside, but the whole map
it was
just
like
the
countryside most. So I'm glad that it's gone back to a setting that can feel more exotic in a way, and just, this is almost like a tasting menu for all of Mexico. It's brought like all of the features it has as a country and condensed it into one small map. And that's what the best maps in Horizon have done. Like Australia was the same. And even Horizon 2, it was like, you had the coastlines of Nice, and then you had like the vineyards of Florence and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very cool. It's a completely outlandish premise. Like, it's just this racing festival that comes to this region and just like overtakes the roads and like wildlife and kind of everything, just to host these races everywhere. But it just lets you partake in tons of events. You've got road races, you've got off-road races, cross-country ones, Baja events, street races, just such variety to everything you can do. And it's got all the staples of a Horizon game. So you've got little XP boards that you can bash as you're making your way through the world. You've got little mini races you can do, little sections which are like drifting challenges. You've got classic cars to find in barns around the map that can then be restored. But the big standout thing here, I think, in terms of changes, is what they call Horizon Adventure. And that's sort of like your single player story mode type of thing. And I think the big change here is that they've made a more focused attempt to make a bit more of a human story. Previously, it was like, you're here with the festival, you're racing, just do your thing.
Just doing things.
Yeah. Here you're progressing and you're getting rewards called accolades. And these accolades allow you to eventually expand the Horizon Festival in a way that you want to. So it'll be like, here are 5 types of festivals or racing events, and you upgrade each one, which unlocks more races on the maps or unlocks more story missions attributed to that race type. So your progression is essentially controlled by the stuff you want to do, which felt really nice. And it gives the map, like, it feels like every time you are unlocking one of these things, you're opening up a new portion of the map. Like, you can explore the map from the get-go, but it does feel like you are slowly letting the the festival encroach, take over the region. So it populates it in a very natural way. But these story missions are really good. They're kind of ridiculous. Like, there's one that follows a string of missions where you're helping like a university student collect loads of data at high speeds in different terrains. Another one loves taking photographs in sandstorms, so you like put yourself in really dangerous situations to get photographs. I think my favorite one was there's a mechanic or an engineer that you meet right at the beginning, and she helps you find a like classic VW Beetle. And she goes on to explain that the VW Beetle has a big it's quite significant in Mexican culture. Like it was kind of like a very popular car in the times there. And in the story, her grandfather used to race in one. So you take part in these events, which kind of recreate a lot of the types of races and stunts he did in his VW, which they call a vocho. And each one is sort of like a way for her to connect with her grandfather and kind of like rekindle like a sense of like love between cars and family, which is I thought was really cool. I just thought it was a really interesting avenue that the Horizon series hasn't gone down, because it is essentially, it's a game for people who love like cars.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time there are like very personal stories attached to, especially like cars that have been passed down through the ages.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And
That's
the missions
cool, yeah.
themselves are just really fun.
Yeah. Well,
so
yeah, I mean,
it's
from what you've told me, just the premises they give you, like they obviously give you an excuse to go drive through a sandstorm or drive at a high speed. You know, it gives you
essentially
some sort of agency or context to it, which is quite cool. You're not just doing races.
Yeah, it's not just races. There's so much littered around the map that like if you just feel like you're like, cool, I've done a string of races, now I want to try something different, there's always something close by that you can try, you know what I mean? And I think that's what Horizon as a series has always just done really well, is just the sheer variety of things you can do in its open world, and the way that it's designed, that you always, you know, even if you're making away from one race to another, there's stuff you can do on the way that feels meaningful all the time. And, you know, everything you do in the game works towards those accolades that let you then unlock more events. So it feels like every little piece of racing you're doing, even if the racing is just getting from one event to another, is contributing to overall progression. So it feels purposeful.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that so many other open world games just lack. Like, you know, there's so many open world, especially action games, where you feel like, okay, you're going to this point of the map to start a mission, then you're going to this point of the map to start the mission. The stuff in between is superfluous. Like, it just doesn't matter. And Horizon like completely flips that on its head, and has for a very long time. I don't get why, like how Playground Games nailed this aspect so early on and no one's kind of figured it out in the same way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, this isn't just the same game, more of it. Like the story missions are different enough that they feel fresh and exciting. Like you still have Horizon has been come to known for its showcase events, where you'll be like in number 4 you raced a train, or at the beginning of this game you raced like a cargo plane, stuff like that. But they've, you know, they still have those like ridiculous and very cinematic showpiece races, but then they have races against like other people, like a cartel of, not a cartel, but like a group of street racers. Yeah, a group of street racers who like don't really like the Horizon Festival and kind of like see themselves as more elite, and like, you know, so you race them in the streets or stuff like that. It's just really good, and the sheer variety that the map offers helps keep things fresh, because like every race you're doing, even though it could be just another circuit race or another sprint race, because you're doing it in like this jungle with you know, wet mud that makes your cars like slip and slide around, is very different from racing on, you know, tarmac on the roads. So yeah, it's really good. This is a game that will be around for a while. It's got like a sort of pseudo like season pass in it.
Yeah.
So it's not something you have to buy.
No.
You like every 7 days the season changes. This is something they introduced in 4, but the seasons are a bit less intrusive as they were in the last one, where like seasonal events will be influenced by the weather. So it will be like wet or hot or I actually haven't seen many others, because, you know, it cycles every 7 days. But that changes the surfaces that you race on, because obviously, like if you're racing in a dry or a wet terrain in a jungle, that completely changes how the ground is going to feel. So you have these seasonal events, and then every week the seasonal events refresh, and you've got different rewards to kind of like work towards. And then you've got like daily and weekly challenges that also contribute to that. So this is a game like you can keep coming back to in small pockets of time every week and unlock new cars that have been added, race new championships that have been created. And that's like completely outside of also the customization options that are there. Like there's tools there that let players create their own races and their own events that you can then play in multiplayer. So it's just a ridiculous amount of content, and it's a racing game that you can be like, cool, this is going to be the thing that I play for the next 2 years until a Horizon 6 comes out or Motorsport comes out. Yeah. And I mean, they've already said they have plans for expansions and stuff like that. So,
I mean, my experience with Forza Horizon 5 has been non-existent because I thought the game is out on Friday the 5th, but turns out that was the early access release date. So imagine my disappointment where I was like, yay, it's downloaded, I can launch it. Oh, it's only
they've
out
done
on
that
like
for
the
the
9th.
past like 3 editions now. It's like, you can pay more to play it like 4 days early. And I'm still in two minds about that, but
but in shop, so Jeff, good pal Jeff, said that, if you play through Game Pass, it's usually this weird gray area of like, oh, I can't really pay for the premium edition because then I'm going to like buy the whole game, whatever. But apparently they've taken into account, if you've got Game Pass, you can buy the premium pass, whatever. It'll just be a lot cheaper.
I think you can buy the premium pass for like $40.
Yeah,
and then you get access to the 2 expansions that have been announced.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, there's going to be, like you said, this is a game that's going to be around for a long time, and there are actual formal expansions planned.
And the expansions are pretty cool. Like in the past ones, they introduced like
Lego,
a whole Lego expansion. They introduced like Hot Wheels tracks. They had a James Bond car pack. I think in one of the previous entries, they had a Fast and the Furious car pack. Like they go all out with these expansions. Like they're not like, here's 8 more cars. So I mean, it seems like they're adding cars every week just with these seasonal events. So it's, for all intents and purposes, a live service game that you don't have to pay a subscription for or have to pay, like a battle pass for. And it's a great racing game. Like it's got so many tweaks that let you, make it as arcadey or as sim-like as you want. They've repurposed or redone the suspension and braking models, so it feels a bit more realistic, but at the same time, I feel like I could do like more ridiculous turns with it. And it's just the granularity at which you can change your racing experience is fantastic.
Yeah, it's accessible to everyone.
Yeah, like I can make my opponents, the AI, more difficult without having to change to like manual shifting or like taking off traction control, because I don't understand cars in that way, or I don't enjoy racing with that in mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to be able to brake, accelerate, turn, do the thing. I don't want to have to like figure out how ABS brakes and traction control work on a deep level to play. That's full not my type of game.
Like, come on.
But at the same time, like I love playing challenging AI. So the fact that I can edit those independent of each other has always been a fun thing. And there's car customization as well. You can change out every individual part of your car, like the engine, the spoiler, the tires.
That's ridiculous.
So it's like it's got that aspect. So if you really just want to lose hours to like really tuning a car to its absolute full potential, you can.
Sure.
And you can also just download pre-made ones that, so essentially you can do like a thing where it looks at your car, looks at the event, and is like, this is a tuning we think will work. Or you can go online and see what other players have posted as optimal tunings and download those. So very community driven.
That's very cool.
But again, like if you've been playing Forza Horizon, most of this shouldn't come as a shock, because this is like the basis that has always been at the surface of this game is just racing and community. It's at its best here. It's so good. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Like,
I'm very excited to dive into it.
Just really, really insane.
Yeah, the games, I mean, I've never actually committed to playing a Forza. It's like you have. I've often just jumped in, whether it be at a friend's house or something who has an Xbox. But I have this ready to play on PC, so I'm very keen to see what it looks like.
It's going to be a treat on PC, apparently. Yeah. So I won't go into the nitty gritty, but Digital Foundry have a full breakdown on the tech in this game and also just how scalable it is.
Yeah.
Like the fact that this works on an Xbox One from 2013 and looks really good.
I was actually going to say it is available on last gen, right? Yeah, that's insane.
So funnily enough, Forza Horizon 2 was also one of those games. It existed on the Xbox 360 and then was a showpiece on the Xbox One when it launched. And so what Digital Foundry did, I actually found it quite interesting. They took both versions of that game and showed how different they were at the time to show like a cross-gen gap and to what it is now. And the differences between cross-gen are so small. Well, I wouldn't say so small, but they far less significant than they were back then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Playground Games has created a system where their engine is so scalable that it's still able to look like a generational leap on newer hardware. Like this isn't a game constrained by needing to run on older consoles. Put it that way. Because their engine is just so flexible.
It's versatile. Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, these are the guys making the new Fable. So if they've got the sensibilities of how to make an open world right, I think that's 80% of the way there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do. Very keen.
But even just quickly on that, just Game Pass, it feels like the next, this period now is quite a strong showing, particularly because we've just had Age of Empires. You've got a PC.
Yes, Age of Empires 4.
Forza Horizon 5 and Halo's in the next month. That's like
boy, I cannot wait.
3 AAA games. Because a lot of people say like, oh, Game Pass, Xbox doesn't have games, and it's there, but they've invested in the studios. We had Psychonauts 2 a month or two ago. You're gonna start.
It's been a strong year for Xbox exclusives.
They're going to start hitting this cadence, I think, next year specifically, when it's almost going to be like a monthly or just every second month a AAA Xbox game. Which
you're starting to see that cycle like start pay off. I think, and I mean the games from all their acquisitions haven't even come to fruition yet. These are games that were I mean, Horizon was only announced this year, but you always knew it was coming. And Halo was announced like years ago.
Deathloop coming next year.
Deathloop coming next year. Starfield. This time next year, Starfield. So, I think they're hitting. I mean, I've always said, even during the Xbox One days, where people are like, oh, the Xbox doesn't have a killer app. And I've always been like, Horizon is that killer app. But I get it, because not everyone's into racing.
Not everyone's into racing. Yeah, I think if you're looking at the average gamer, they are looking for, like an open world. They're
looking
game
for story-driven stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation's really good at story-driven adventures, and people love good stories.
Exactly,
so, that's why people love Marvel films. They love climactic, story-driven things, and Xbox does not have that, straight up.
Whatever, man. Forza Horizon 5's got a good Volkswagen story among others. So
maybe it transforms into Iron Man. Who knows? You never know.
And then Vin Diesel rocks up. It's like, it's all about family.
It is.
There'll be a DLC. Watch the next Fast film.
But Forza's great. Always has been great. This one's just the best one yet, and it's so good to see a studio just keep hitting. Like, it's unbelievable how Playground can just be this good.
They. I mean,
easily
like you
the
said,
strongest studio that Microsoft
think,
owns.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the last Forza, but just the setting didn't click for you.
It was mainly just the setting. I was just like, I got a bit tired of the setting. But what a game. Playground does not miss. They do not miss.
Your catchman, as an AI in your game.
Yeah, get your Dravatar into my game. Can't wait to leave you in my dust, bitch.
But that's all you've really been playing.
What have you been up to this weekend? Oh, this week, I guess.
So last week we actually got access to Mario Party Superstars.
Game of the year.
Game of the year, but last weekend just did not. Well, leading up to the podcast, very tired, did not have time. And again, this week have been very busy doing bits and pieces, but I did find the time to play a whole single 1 hour game with Lenska. So oh
my goodness.
I can talk a little bit about Mario Party. I do have some footage here for those of you who are watching the video. Ooh. I mean, so I think you've probably played more Mario Party than I have. You played the last one, and I think the last one I played was probably on the Wii U. I don't know if that is Mario Party 7
really?
or 8.
That long ago? Okay.
Long ago. But I mean, for those who don't know, Mario Party, for all intents and purposes, is just a multiplayer board game, if I could call it that, with an amalgamation of dozens, if not hundreds, of short multiplayer games. So the premise is simple. I mean, if you're playing alone, you're going to match up against AI. But if you're playing with friends, 4 of you can, get onto this board. You roll a dice, and the whole purpose is to just collect coins and turn those coins into stars. And whoever has the most stars at the end of the game is deemed the winner. But if you've ever played a Mario Party, you'll know that skill will only get you so far in this game, because it is rife with some real tomfoolery in the sense that
it is,
there are some random events that can happen. For example, where, we had in this game, Rosalina was doing horribly. She was just bottom of the log, no coin, well, very few coins, no stars. And then halfway through, somebody appears like, I predict Rosalina's going to win this game. And they gave her a whack load of coins. And funny enough, she started getting all these advantages, and she was leading for a long time. much to Lenska and my dismay. Like, what is going on here?
That sounds like Mario Party bullshit to me.
That is exactly it. So yeah, it's just a fun collection of multiplayer games, and like, it's a good time with friends. But I think what makes this one stand out specifically is that it's Mario Party Superstar. So it's a collection of some of the best Mario Party boards and games from previous entries. Like, I think a lot of the games we played here were, I don't know if this board was necessarily from the Nintendo 64 era.
I just want to say,
it's like a space
really
themed board, a space themed board.
It looks like a Rainbow Road in space, but a Mario Party board.
My goodness. But a lot of the mini games we played, if I'm not mistaken, were taken from the Nintendo 64 game. Way back when, just modernized, obviously, to.
I assume that was the first one back then.
I think it must have been the first one. Yeah. I mean, Nintendo 64, what a revolutionary system that must have been, introducing so many multiplayer friendly things like this and Super Smash Bros. And, GoldenEye,
Animal Crossing.
Oh my God, all of these things. But yeah, I mean, I haven't played it too much. I can't get into the nitty gritty, but I can tell you that if you've played Mario Party, it's very much what you'd expect. It's just filled with bullshittery, but it's a good time where things can change within seconds.
At a moment's notice.
This is where friendships end ultimately, or they begin. You can gang up on other people.
I played a bunch of Super Mario Party, which came out.
It was about a year or two,
probably
2 years
2
ago.
years ago.
Say,
yeah. I think it was definitely before the pandemic.
Mm.
But yeah, and I enjoyed it then. I got a bunch of friends who don't actually play video games that much to play it with me, and they had a great time. And I think that's where its strength lies, is like, its mini games are super easy to understand, and their controls are like super simple as well. So anyone can play.
It's really, really straightforward. Like, let me just scrub here to one of the most ridiculous mini games we played over here. Look at this. That's right. We went to the track, and all.
Oh, that is amazing! So, for audio listeners, this is just a horse race track, but it's like those rocking horses.
Yeah, we're riding like a wooden rocking horse.
So, tell me, what were the controls for this mini game?
The controls for this was just literally alternating between the shoulder buttons, so left, right, left, right, left, right. But you had to find a rhythm, because if you go too fast, you would spin out.
Yes.
So but I mean, it's so easy to learn. Like, and what's quite nice is that when you launch into every game, it shows you a tutorial, which if you've played before, you can just straight up skip it. But it's almost like a tutorial which explains the controls which you have to do, and you can actually play the game in the tutorial. And then when you're ready up, everyone obviously play the actual game. So it's very quick to learn, and I mean, like, anyone can play this. It's nothing too confusing. I mean, like, you have games where it's as simple as you just have to push this button as fast as you can, or rotate the thumbstick as quickly as you can, or like in the horse racing, just alternate left and right shoulder buttons, but don't go too fast, else your poor horse will spin out.
Here's where
oh my God, this is where
bullshit prediction.
We got cheated here. Look at Rosalina all the way down bottom there. Me and Lenska leading here, first and second, and then this guy is just like,
this
womp
is just like, cool, I'm going to predict Rosalina.
And let me tell you, this coin advantage really pushed her up, because in one round, so as the game goes on, you do get specific events or things that happen where, so for example, if you land on the same spot as another player, you'll instantly go into like a duel, with them where you have to bet coins and then whoever wins, gets all the coins. We ended up somehow in a 4-way duel where she set the minimum, and you don't have control over it. Like you have to participate. She set the coins to 30 each, which is a lot, which means if you the outright one, you get 120, which is like an insane amount, because I think a star costs 20.
Isn't it? Yeah, 20 or 30. Yeah.
And yeah, she won that game. And my God, it gave her such a lead.
Unbelievable.
But you know what? Lenska came back, and right at the end, she ended up winning because, I don't know if you remember this, but at the end of each Mario Party game, they hand out they have a mini award ceremony.
Oh, this is the real bullshit of Mario Party.
Yeah. They have an award ceremony, and they just start dishing out stars left, right, and center for the most obscene reasons. Like, oh, this person had a bad time, they get a star. And the whole point of the game is you working hard to get stars, but for them to just dish them out willy-nilly, it's
fucking ridiculous. Like, it's really like, it feels like, whose line is it anyway? The points really don't matter.
They don't matter.
Like, you get to the end and you can be winning by 1 star and you can still lose by like 2. And you're just like, what? Just like this game, man.
Wait, this is it. Sorry, this is where. Sorry, it wasn't 30 coins. It was 20 coins she stole from all of us, which is still a lot. Look at that.
It's a total of 80 on the board there to win.
But I think that's probably the bigger strength of the game, is that if you're highly competitive, like, this is not the game for you, purely because
super not, yeah.
If you want to put your competitive skills to the test, you should play Dota 2 or Apex, where your skill actually translates into winning. This game it's really random, and I think it works in its favor because it means that anyone can win. It doesn't matter how good you are, and it makes it enjoyable for everyone. Maybe if you're on the not so much if you're on the losing end, but overall, you're gonna have a great time. So
I love this mini game. It's just
so this is
cannonballs hitting an island, and it's like the last person to fall off the island.
So this is just me and Lenska practicing, trying to figure out how the hell this game.
I like that Rosalina lost there in the practice round, but I assume she's going to win this.
I think Lenska and I won here. The time ran out, so we both got a fair amount of coins. She didn't actually beat us. I got that wrong.
I appreciate Lenska's choice of Yoshi for this. Got to give it back to Mario.
Of course, I'm playing Luigi because.
Oh, of course, it's the best. Your in-game avatar. It's like literally you.
But yeah, last. What
are your favorite mini games? Sorry to interrupt you there.
No. I mean, so I haven't played that many, but this was a good one. They're just so simple. The horse racing one was just funny.
That one looked really fun. Yeah.
But what I wanted to say though is that what's quite cool with this one is that it does have online functionality. So
from the get-go. Yeah.
From the get-go. So you can match up against random people online, or you can play against friends. So you and I must definitely get together.
I'm keen
to some
play.
Bullshittery.
It's a fun one. Does it still do the thing where you use the Joy-Con to like punch in the air to hit your dice?
No, you just push a button to jump.
Okay. There used to be, in the previous one,
did you actually have to? Okay.
Yeah, it was like you could press a button, or you could like, you roll it and you just do this, like punch up, and it's like,
no. I think.
Oh my God, a Bowser space. That's new.
I think.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that's something they've removed from this game. There's no motion control games. If I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I think is a bummer if you played the last one, which was built almost entirely on.
Yeah, most of them were motion control. Yeah.
So I didn't play a single game, to my knowledge, that had motion control, and I do think that it has been dropped because these are it's all classic boards. So you didn't have motion control shenanigans on. Mario 64.
Some of the motion control ones in the previous one were quite cool. I think I told you when we met recently. My favorite one was you use the controller to like flip around cubes of steak on a pan, and the winner was the person who seared all sides as evenly as possible. Real fun.
Amazing. Fun. So if you're looking for a good party game, I don't think you can go wrong with.
I think the last thing I want to say is that earlier when we were watching the Toad, his like emotes were really good, but also, wow, he looks HD as hell. That is a good looking high definition Toad right there.
Game's pretty, man. It's got that good Mario style.
You've got to clip him where he's like doing his little finger wagging thing and just like make that a GIF because I need that in my life.
Oh my goodness, what is this last game we played? Oh, I played Misbehaving.
Paint Misbehaving.
This was a 2v2. You just had to color in the Goombas.
Oh, the poor Goombas, they're stuck on a canvas and you're just like shooting them with
I know,
paint.
it's cool, but you know what?
That's really cool.
Someone's got to win.
It looks like a lot of fun creating these mini games. Almost like like when you're playing WarioWare.
Exactly.
Very cool. Very cool.
So yeah, that's Mario Party Superstar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm keen to give that a go very soon. Should we move on to game releases?
Game releases. Let me just put a little timestamp here and pull up the game releases. My goodness, we're getting into... Well, busy season actually hasn't stopped for a while now.
It really has not.
Feels like every week there's been at least one thing to look forward to. So I know this last week we had the new Call of Duty, Vanguard. But what is coming up?
So we are looking from November 6th up until November 12th. So I'm just going to...
Well, I guess Forza Horizon 5. It's coming out this week, among other things.
Yeah. I
That's
guess
actually
the very first game is Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, it is technically out on November 9th. So that's Tuesday. Then anyone on Game Pass can play it. So yeah, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Reflection Second Light, PC, PS4, PS5, and Switch, November 9th. Got a game called Clunky Hero out on Steam Early Access, November 9th. That's a cool name.
Nice.
Another big release, Jurassic World Evolution 2, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, November 9th as well. I never played the first one, but it looks cool. Yeah. It's like a, roller coaster tycoon, but dinosaurs. Synthetic 2, Steam Early Access, PC, November 11th. Another big one for this week, Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. So this is GTA 3, GTA San Andreas, and GTA Vice City coming to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch.
I would love to play them on Switch, but I cannot. Even that's like a stretch. I can't see myself playing all three games from beginning to end. I would just love to have, the option to dive into them. Be like, oh, okay, cool.
The visual style is so strange to me because it's like they've kept the look of the game, but it's like high def. Weird. It's strange. I never played either of these games like pretty deeply, but I do know that San Andreas is being like ripped out and will be on Game Pass. So maybe I'll give that a go. Recreate the good meme that everyone posts online.
Oh boy, here we go again.
PUBG New State coming to Android and iOS November 11th. This is a big one for me. Bright Memory Infinite coming to PC on November 11th. This is that game that kept popping up at Xbox events that was marketed as like the Dark Souls of first-person shooters. It's that like ridiculously good-looking game, but it's like a first-person shooter and it's really hard.
I actually know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't this made by like one person or something?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. Or the first one, because this is essentially a sequel. The first one was like a very short game. And if you bought that on Steam, you get access to this one for free. And at the time, it was like $20 on Steam. So I was like,
so you got it.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for that. Keen to give that a go. So yeah, that's out on November 11th. Not on Xbox, only on PC for now. I think it is on Game Pass on PC.
Yeah. Though. Okay. Yeah. Here's a big one for you.
Breakwaters.
No, the next one when you're done with this one.
Steam Early Access PC November 11th. Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Switch. Okay, so I've never played one of these, but if you were around on Twitter, the discourse was, all these reviews referencing Persona when talking about Shin Megami Tensei, when Persona is actually a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Listen, Persona 5 was like a flashpoint for this series as a whole. Like, it got it on the map in a big way. So I understand. And I'm actually kind of keen to try out Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Switch because it's like, the same turn-based sort of JRPG goodness, just without the slice of life,
casual social
side. Yeah, so cool, and it's been getting pretty great reviews. So yeah, that's cool. Last one, Game & Watch. The Legend of Zelda. Okay, so I thought this was out already. I swear to God, this came out last year. Like,
maybe
I
it was
got
just
an
announced
email,
last year, and we just.
I don't know. I got an email about it like earlier this month, being like, it's up for pre-order on some retailer, and I was like, what?
You're like, what?
Like, isn't this out? Like, didn't this come out like ages ago? And yeah, choose Bob. It's not out. It's
who knew?
Still coming out. So yeah, that's cool. If you want to play the original Zelda on a Game & Watch
own little
device,
handheld thing,
yeah, that is also a clock.
You
know, that's it for this week.
It.
Still got some big ones for the end of the month. Got stuff like a new Pokemon, a new Battlefield.
Oh my God, is the new Pokemon out this month?
Well, it's the remakes.
The remake, yeah.
Yeah, it's Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which actually look really good.
My goodness. Where will we find the time for all these games?
I really fucking love the look of those games. Like, I am super into it. So, yeah.
Oh, and then December, Halo.
Oh, can't wait.
I'm also weirdly excited for that because I've never really been big into Halo, but
oh my God,
I don't know. It feels like Halo Infinite is a turning point.
It feels so good to see people excited about Halo again. It's like,
well, I think especially
it hasn't been for a long time.
Yeah, but especially given the reveal last year, which was like, oh, this does not look good.
They have seriously turned it around. It's, I'm very excited for it. I'm very keen to just see a lot of like people happy about Halo again. I played both of the betas for the multiplayer and I thought they were great. I'm fucking stoked.
Are you playing on Xbox or PC?
I'll play on Xbox, yeah.
This
is a controller game. I'm sorry. Like, you can play with a mouse and keyboard and defy everything that Halo stands for, but this is
I'm gonna come get you. Don't come at me like,
I'm
playing on a controller.
Oh God, no! I can't. It feels dirty to me. It feels gross. It feels absolutely disgusting.
I'll play certain FPSs on console, like a Call of Duty. I don't mind playing the campaign on a console, like whatever. Even the multiplayer, like I'll dabble with. But if I had the choice, mouse and keyboard, I feel like if I'm on controller, I'm like, no, I can't do this. I need my mouse and keyboard.
No, I've got like decades of muscle memory for Halo on controller. I'm not about to change that. So, yeah.
Cool.
Keen. Super keen. Should we move on to gaming news? I actually don't have the doc open.
It's fine.
So
I'll run you through what I've got.
You can kick us off.
Okay, so we can't watch too much of this, but we finally have some Elden Ring gameplay, which neither of us have watched because we're like, we want to go in fresh. But you know what? So just to wrap it up quickly, FromSoft basically just showed off a 15 to 20 minute gameplay preview. Is this video playing?
Yeah, pretty extensive.
Yeah, it's just I guess they talking.
Oh, it has like it had like voiceover at the beginning, so nothing happened.
And I've literally just scrubbed through this video because I don't want to see too much, but
yeah, as soon as I saw this establishing shots of just this like world, I was like, okay, I'm in.
And for little I've seen, I just keep getting Breath of the Wild vibes, just like this big open world that you can peel away at your own leisure. And oh my God, look at that horse just appearing out of thin air. It's
looks
a good
fantastic.
time. And yeah, it looks like they've taken a lot of elements from the existing game. So I think the closest link in this game is Dark Souls. It looks very Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah,
but there are definitely,
it's got that vibe to it, yeah.
There are definitely elements of Sekiro with, you pointed out earlier, the stealth, which I think, I mean, that's never really been a thing in Dark Souls.
Yeah, not really, no. There's full-on, like, Sekiro, like, crouch down, move around, do stealth kills type of shit. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Definitely pulling from that, yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen enough. I want this game. February cannot come soon enough. It just looks.
It looks great.
Yeah,
and I mean, just in the small snippet, you saw like the main character running around an enemy encounter and just like not engaging. So it seems like you'll have the ability to choose what to tackle and what not to tackle.
I love how they just put in some like this person dying snippets here quickly.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna do it a lot. The quote unquote campfires, I forgot what they called here. They will shoot off like rays of light, which will guide you to, I guess, main parts stuff. So there is some sort of authorship to like, you should probably go here, you should probably go there, because I mean, these games have always felt like mazes, so I can only imagine how overwhelming it might be with an open world that is designed like that. So
I do. I mean, I think that's my only concern with the game, is that I don't know how they'll tear off stuff. Because like traditionally a Dark Souls or Bloodborne, it's you making your way through a linear game. It's mostly linear for the most part, and you're leveling up and you're taking on harder enemies, but you're leveling up with them. You're leveling up to face them. Whereas I wonder here, I don't know, will it be a sort of leveling system that kind of levels with you, or is it a matter of like you shouldn't go to that part of the map yet because those enemies are just way too hard? Like, I don't know how they'll balance it, but I'm curious to see what the final game shapes up to be. It looks good. I have no idea what's going on, but we've seen enough.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, but it's I've seen more than enough to be super stoked with what I've seen, and I actually saw people on Twitter saying like, "Oh God, this gameplay actually makes the delay sting."
I know, it looks,
could not agree
real
more.
Good. Yeah,
it looks really good.
But I mean, February's not that far away,
it's
which is really nice.
Away,
I mean, often
25th of Feb, isn't it?
Often we get gameplay overviews. It's like, cool, you can look forward to playing this game in 6 months or next year or something. It's like, why? It's so far. Last thing on that, they also revealed the collector's edition. This is the premium collector's edition, which not only comes with the statue of Millennia, who, if you've watched the trailer,
I love millennials.
She's the lady with the winged helmet and red hair and the big sword. But you actually
get a millennial that I've seen before.
But you actually get an official helmet replica, which is what makes this. Yeah, if you
can you imagine the shipping on this
thing? If you want to ride into battle, this is the edition you go for.
Wait, go into the stores with your surgical mask and that helmet on. Please,
oh my God!
For the love of God.
But yeah, I think that to me is the most exciting news.
I love that bullet point. If you scroll up a little bit there, up.
Oh, the other way.
So no. Keep going up. Yeah. So it's like a bonus.
Oh, the bonus gesture. Yeah.
A bonus gesture, the ring. But the next point, epic HD wallpapers. It's like, okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Google exists, but okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. That's I suppose my high points of news. But there are definitely other big pieces this week, including. Why is this not loaded? This blank page. Blizzard has delayed. Well, let's start off with, every week we have a story on Blizzard
where do you start with Blizzard? Yeah.
So just a quick recap. They are under investigation for, sexual harassment, etc. I'm sure we've spoken about this at length, but the CEO, not the CEO, what is the name of the dude's name? The head
co-leader.
No, but initially there was J. Allen Brack stepped down.
Oh, he was president.
Yeah, that's it. So he stepped down about 3 months ago and was, quote unquote, replaced by 2 people to co-lead.
Mm-hmm.
One of which was this Jen O'Neill. I don't know if I'm saying her name right.
Yeah, Jen O'Neill was previously president of Vicarious Visions, who have essentially been absorbed by Blizzard at this point. Apparently, they might even lose their name. They'll just become a Blizzard thing.
Damn. But she has now stepped down from her role. She'll be at Blizzard till the end of the year, but she's no longer co-leading, which, look, I think there's reasons, but it's given the context of what's going on at Blizzard, it's just kind of wild that the one half female leader is just like, nah.
Yeah, I saw some people saying like in the 3 months that this has happened, Blizzard has gone from having its first like female president to reverting back to just one dude again, which is like, oof.
And then
and I'm sure it's probably I wouldn't be shocked if it was her decision to be like, I actually don't want anything to fucking do with this. Or maybe her knowing what's going on internally, being like, this actually isn't changing for the better, so peace out. You know what I mean? So,
but this was closely followed with, I thought, pretty shocking news that Blizzard have delayed Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 into 2023. If I'm not mistaken,
so this all came as part of their financial earnings. So I saw some Blizzard employees firstly expressing surprise at O'Neill's departure because it was not communicated to them, which is real. That when studios don't do that, that's like real eyebrow raising behavior.
When you read the news, you're like, oh, my big boss has left.
My boss
is
gone.
Weird.
That doesn't seem to me like it was an amicable
No, it's like it's like you said, it was a peace out. I'm out of.
She's like, just I'm out of here. Yeah. So. But these delays, I mean, Blizzard had never given formal dates to either of these games, but considering they were announced, Diablo 4 was announced in 2019. I think Overwatch 2 was announced around the same time. What the fuck does Blizzard have for next year? Nothing.
No,
they've got nothing.
Yeah, I actually read a quote here. I can't remember what it was, but it is almost laughable where it's like Blizzard are still, still bringing, gaming experiences in 2021, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like, you've definitely got Hearthstone and World of Warcraft and your whole stable of games, but W2 remastered. But it's just weird because, like you said, we never had a date for these. But you kind of thought we've seen these for a long time now. 2022,
especially Overwatch 2.
Even if it's like the end of 2022, like you kind of expected them to come out next year. So,
what's even weirder is that the Overwatch League next year is being played with an early version of Overwatch 2. So they're still going to have the game on a competitive scene that's not available to the public. I'm just like, what?
Which brings me to my next question mark, which we've spoken about again at length, is why is Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 crossplay? It's just...
Listen, I still don't understand the whole situation with Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. To be honest, I don't think Blizzard fucking understands what that situation is, to be honest. Because, the fact that they say, oh, you can still play Overwatch 1 and still get all the new maps. It's like, so what is this new release? The single player content. Yeah, but that Overwatch is a competitive game.
I don't know.
I don't
question
get it.
Marks.
I'm mostly just bummed about Diablo 4 because after the sour taste that 2 remastered left in my mouth, I'm ready for a new one. And I really thought it was going to be like a end of year 2022 game, and now would not be shocked if it was end of the year 2023.
Exactly. So it's just far away now.
With all the dev updates they've been putting out for that game, I really thought it was coming along. But I guess, at the end of the day, maybe this is good because maybe this is Blizzard recognizing we cannot push out these 2 huge games and reform ourselves at the same time. So let's focus on one thing at a time.
100%.
So you hope that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
what does Activision have next year? Call of Duty.
Nice.
That's literally it. I can't think of another Activision property that's coming out next year.
In Nintendo news, Nintendo says it will improve and expand Nintendo Switch Online, which I think we touched on last week. The new Nintendo 64 games, the ports not good. But what's interesting is that this came from their financial reporting or something. Subscriptions have climbed to 32 million, that's
more than Game Pass.
I think Game Pass has climbed a lot. I could be wrong.
The last figure was 18 million that Microsoft gave, and estimates, because they haven't updated that in over a year and a half, estimates put it at 30.
Yeah, I think it's pretty high. But I just thought this was interesting. That what else are they going to add to this service? Do we have GameCube coming one day?
Listen, Nintendo Switch Online was already I was only subscribed to it because hey, I like playing Splatoon online, and also it's only $20 a year. I was not really playing the NES and SNES games that came with it. I do not envision a world where I pay $50 for its expansion pack. I will pay for Animal Crossing's expansion standalone, and that's it.
Well, I still need to dive into this Nintendo 64 emulator because I have not tried it yet. But yeah. In other news, this I thought it's quite surprising.
Ooh, look at that. Ocarina of Time.
Oh my goodness. Sony has invested in Devolver Digital.
Yeah. So I saw you put this on here, but then you also forgot the news that Devolver went public this week as well.
Oh, well, I missed that.
So yeah, Devolver Digital, publisher of them banger indie games, they went public. They are now listed as Devo, which is really funny, on the stock exchange, and they had a valuation of $950 million, which, if you ask me, is an undervaluation.
That seems like an undervalue. I agree.
Yeah, I could see this getting much higher. Not financial advice.
I want to put all my money based on your advice, but Sony has invested a whole 5%, which is still it's a lot of money.
It's not bad,
but it's interesting.
I mean, if you take 5% of $1 billion, that's
a lot.
It's
$50
million.
Yeah. But I think it's a relatively smart move from Sony because Devolver, they don't miss with their indies. They as a company, they've got such a an unpredictable personality. I love the fun and different personality, and they do publish really great games. I mean, just looking at this lockup here, we've got Death's Door from this year, we've got Gris, we've got Carrion, and
Serious
among many
they as part of the going public announcement, they also announced that they throughout this year had just stealthily acquired 4 studios. So it was I know one of them, I don't know all 4, but one of them was the devs behind Enter the Gungeon. Is now owned by Devolver, so that's a good pickup. I do wonder now, because they publicly traded, they have public shareholders. Will they be able to do their ridiculous, outlandish E3 conferences without affecting stock price? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I'm curious to see how the spirit of what Devolver's brand has become changes now that they're public. Yeah. But if at the end of the day, if they keep supporting indies in the way that they do, that's great, because they have seriously been a catalyst for some of the best independent titles in this industry. So, and knowing from people I've spoken to just locally, I know Free Lives deals almost exclusively with Devolver. They are great people and they treat devs well. So more of that in the industry is a-okay with me.
A winner. Then just other little pieces of news. Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker expansion delayed by 2 weeks. So if you've been holding out on this,
I've seen the game's producer was brought to tears by having to announce this 2-week delay. I'm like,
it's 2 weeks.
Okay, firstly, I don't understand why, but it's 2 weeks. Maybe it's just a lot of pressure. I feel very bad for him.
Yeah. My thing is if you come out, you say listen, we have to push this out by 3 months. It's that's unfortunate. But 2 weeks is it's not. 2
weeks is nothing, man.
If you're big into Final Fantasy 14, I imagine this is soul crushing. You're like, damn it. I really was so excited for this. But at least it's 2 weeks. It's coming out this year. But yeah.
So its early access period will begin on December 3rd now.
Yeah.
Putting it in the crosshairs of Halo Infinite. Listen, I don't think
oh boy.
there's much overlap between these two sort of games. So I'm almost certain that if you are a Final Fantasy 14 player, you are fully committed to playing Endwalker when it comes out. Because people are fucking hyped for this.
This is one MMORPG that I really need to dive into one day when I have all the time.
I gave it a go. MMOs just aren't my thing. Just could not get past the format of the game, but I am super happy. It always warms my heart hearing the success of this game, considering what a turnaround it was after launch. This is a story you don't hear about often, and the fact that it is now the de facto MMO is quite something.
Real good, yeah. And then last 2 quick pieces of news. League of Legends, Valorant, and many other Riot games are now available on the Epic Games Store.
Interesting.
Which I find very interesting because Riot has its own launcher.
I would not be shocked if this is a Tencent move.
You reckon?
because Tencent owns Riot,
yeah,
and they own a massive stake in Epic Games. So
yeah,
I would not be shocked if Tencent's like,
I mean,
just fucking put it on there. Like,
I'm not complaining. Look, I don't play. I haven't played a Riot game in a long time, but the fact that it's just on another launcher, reaching more eyes, and if you are a player who just wants all your games under one banner, cool. There we go. It's on the Epic Games Store. And one number that came out of this, Riot Games clocked 180 million players across their games in October, which, look, it can be a bit skewed.
Oh, is that what Runeterra means?
Yeah, so
Runeterra
is like the I think that's Legends of Runeterra. I think Runeterra is the
the world in
setting,
like League of Legends. Okay.
So this number doesn't mean there's like physically 180 million people, because I could play League of Legends and Valorant, but still that's a significant
high number for a month. Yeah, that is. I mean, considering they're playing League of Legends, they're playing Wild Rift on mobile, and they're playing the card game. So that's 3 games. It's a significant number.
And Jinx is coming to Fortnite as a skin.
Yeah, wow.
Which is cool.
Yeah. She is the character with a gun, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And then
character
last
with
piece
a gun
of
and
news.
long pigtails. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready for this? Spider-Man is finally coming to Marvel's Avengers.
Finally. What?
I mean, cool. I somehow thought it was coming out next year.
Mess.
But the November 30th, if you're still big into Marvel's Avengers, funny because it's available on Game Pass, but you're not going to get Spider-Man because it's a PlayStation.
I mean,
exclusive.
I guess it was also news this week, but Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix walked back their decision to offer paid microtransactions in this game after.
Oh, did they? I missed that.
I mean, their whole marketing shtick before the game came out was, we will never do this, and then they did it, and then people were like, what the fuck?
Well, there you go.
So there you go. And Square Enix in their financial earnings called this game a disappointment. Take that as you will.
Well, this update will also introduce the game's first raid. I'd love to know what
only took a year.
The player base is, given that Game Pass, I'm sure, has injected some life into the game.
I see people like still enjoying it here and there, and people jump in new expansion, but boy, I could not. I mean, let's be real. This is not the Avengers game that Square Enix was hoping for. I'm sure it's not the one that Marvel was hoping for, in a way that it just has not hit in the like zeitgeist like at all.
Nope.
So yeah, cool.
Let's see.
Hope Spidey's cool.
Yeah. And that's it. It's gaming news.
Cool.
Just bits and
Fresh
pieces.
off the metaverse.
Oh my god. Shall we get to questions?
Should we get to questions? Yeah. If you, I just see who won League World Champs.
Oh wow. Who won?
Yeah, cool.
Nice.
What are they called? Yeah, Edward Gaming. Not even making that up.
Edward Gaming. That is the most pretentious.
Edward Gaming. EDG Gaming. EDG _Edward on Twitter. But
okay.
their actual name is Edward Gaming.
Hilarious. Well, congrats to them.
Congrats to Edward Gaming. What a year for weird names winning big events. I mean, the
Team Spirit
International was won by Team Spirit, so Edward Gaming. Are you Team Spirit or Team Edward Gaming?
Team Edward Gaming, with my monocle.
Good Lord.
Questions?
Yeah, if you want to send us questions, you can email us checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also message us on all of our social platforms. Checkpoint Chat on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
All of the places.
On Edge Gaming, Edward Gaming, sorry. You can message us on there. Just tweet them and be like, have you guys heard of Checkpoint Chat? And be like, yeah, sick.
My God, Lupin's screaming at me to feed him. He's like, what the hell? You don't podcast at this time. Feed me. Like, come on.
Oh, God. What do we got?
We have a bunch of questions.
The questions revolver. Love playing. Love playing Russian roulette with questions.
My goodness. First question from good guy Gary Dunn at Geek Physique Zero.
Gary Dunn. Yeah, I wish I had a physique like Gary Dunn.
My goodness.
All day,
He will
every day.
bench press both of us on one arm.
Oh, God.
He asks, what are your favorite warm-up games? The game you switch on to play casually for a round or two after being away for a while, or when you're bored and can't decide what to put on next. So I know.
Sorry, I like spaced out halfway through that.
So what are your favorite warm-up games? The game you switch on to play casually for a round or two after being away for a while, or when you're bored and can't decide what to put on next.
Oh, interesting. That's
I mean, mine are pretty straightforward. If you ever pop into my streams, you often find me playing Counter-Strike or Dota 2 because those are just comfort food games.
You said low stress games, Matthew.
There's no such thing as low stress here. I just said warm-up games. But those are games I fall back to just because, I enjoy them. I mean, I don't, especially not this year. I haven't played, Counter-Strike religiously week after week. I suppose this year a game I played a lot more than I didn't expect to is Trackmania. That was a game that was like something for the last 3 months.
There should be a new season soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the new season's out. It's good.
No. Isn't summer out?
No, it's spring. Autumn.
Yeah,
it's autumn. Sorry, it's autumn.
Oh, is autumn out already? Oh, shit.
Yeah, we've played a little bit. It's good. But that's a game that we just dipped into between other games the last 3 months. And it's fun. So, yeah.
Okay.
What are your warm-up games?
I actually don't know. I can't really say that I have a game that I'm like, if I've been away a while, I'll be like, I'll boot this up for a bit.
I'll play Journey for the 11th time.
God. I will say that there are games that I come back to here and there. And over the past year, if I think back, that was actually coincidentally Forza Horizon 4. I used to just pop that on and do a race or two and be like, this game's still good. Gears of War as well. I would pop that in, play a bit, and be like, this is still good. I can't really think of much else there. I try and move on from one game to the next, even if I'm, I've been away for a while. But they are the staples. I played a bunch of Halo this year. So I played Halo 2 for the first time, and then I started some ODST again just because I think it's a fantastic game, and played a bit of multiplayer here and there. So I guess I do come back to Halo quite frequently.
You won't play it on PC, you purist.
Fuck that.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, screw that. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. I'd love to know more people like what they, because I'm curious now. Like what do you use as a warm-up game?
What is your warm-up game? Yeah.
It's quite an interesting question. Thanks.
We have 2 questions from Malesh. So question 1, he says, "Hey guys, how you doing? We're good.
It's good.
Man. Good.
Always good.
A 7-year-old kid has discovered Pokemon cards.
Oh no.
Open
Rip
bracket.
your wallet.
Thanks a lot, McDonald's. He's asked to try.
Oh, what? Sorry, did they have like
maybe they've got
Pokemon cards at McDonald's?
Maybe
that's like selling heroin with cocaine. That's
bad. He's asked to try the games, and I've decided to grab one for him for Christmas. For a young first-time Pokemon player, what would you say is the best one to get? Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee or Pokemon Sword and Shield. I was leaning toward Let's Go Pikachu, but he's throwing around terms like VMAX, obviously learning from new cards, so 8th gen might be more relevant. I've not actually played any of them, and from what I've seen, it's like a light RPG, a game type he's not had exposure to yet. I think Pokemon is accessible to everyone. It's RPG, but it's very, very simple to understand.
It's still designed as a kid's game, like at its deep, and that's why the people who are like super into it and like 30 years old and like, why is this not harder? It's like it's still a kid's game.
It's a kid's game.
Like at its bare minimum, it's still a kid game.
I think
the only big barrier there would be like reading. Like your kid will need to be pretty great with reading because none of it's voiced.
He's 7 years old, so I mean,
I don't know. I was
could get by, maybe. Yeah,
probably. Could probably get by. I think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are the easiest to like understand because they have the base formula at its most like base, I guess. Sword and Shield introduced things like the open world elements and
Dynamax.
Yeah,
Dynamax,
Dynamax. Dynamax like evolutions during battles and stuff, but at their core, it's still like progress through this world, fight people,
Fight
So yeah,
every gym leader.
I mean, if he's more into, if he's recognizing Pokemon that are in the current gen, then Sword and Shield is the one to go with, because he will have no like reverence for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But I think both are great. Yeah, that doesn't really answer the question. I'd say Sword and Shield is good. Yeah. I don't think one's easier than the other.
It's a modern day Pokemon that has, I mean, it's got its own new generation of Pokemon, but it does obviously nitpick from previous generations as well.
I also feel like navigating in Sword and Shield is easier. Like, its world was far more straightforward to me.
It's very linear, yeah. And the open world's there, but it's like, it's one part
it's
of the
like little hubs, yeah. Like, whereas Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee retains the maze-like structure of the original games, where it's like, you'll often have to be reading like, okay, this is Route 2, this is Route 3, and if you don't follow those, you are going to get horrendously lost. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sword and Shield is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's very linear. It's like, ride your bike here, you're in the city, fight, ride the bike to next city type of thing. So, I would say that, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And then another question from Maleshi asks, what backup power are you guys running? Have you made any new upgrades with the recent increases in load shedding? No, I have not. So with load shedding, like I'm not really phased with load shedding, to be honest, purely because like if it happens during work hours, I'll just hotspot because I just use my laptop. But look, it's not ideal, but I'll just hotspot. And if it happens in the evening, I've got my iPad with some Netflix shows downloaded or my Switch. So like I'm sorted. I'm not, I won't get bored easily or anything. The only time it's actually proven to be a pain was this weekend with podcasting.
Yeah.
Because it becomes a thing of,
it's
like I have no generator.
It throws our whole day into whack.
Yeah, I mean, if you missed the beginning, we're recording in the evening now because I had no power this morning, and it just throws the whole schedule out. Yeah, but you don't have any alternate.
No, I mean the only thing I have is a small UPS that is connected to my internet.
Yeah,
so,
what I will say is that we do need to look at a internet solution, because I mean hotspotting works, but it's not ideal. And it's just nice to have internet.
I mean, it's not. I mean, our apartment's small enough that we've got a UPS on the main router and obviously the fiber box, because if that loses power, then it doesn't matter if your router's on. So none of our other little like mesh nodes have power, but the apartment's small enough that it's fine. Like we still get coverage. And that's been useful, especially when both Shani and I were working from home. That was like paramount, because like both of us needed internet when the power went out. So that's been good. And it's like a small thing. It almost looks like a router itself. So it just sits next to my router, plugs in, it's always on power. And as soon as the power goes off, it like switches to battery. Like the internet doesn't even drop. So
I need to look at something like that, but it's a little bit more.
They're not that expensive as well, because they, and I can charge my phone off them if I really, really need to. It won't power anything super high. But I think this one was like 500 Rand or something, and it just works.
It's a little bit more complicated for me, purely because the
internet comes from your main house.
It comes from the main house. We're in the cottage, so we need two.
Because you need to have the wireless one where you are and the one at the main hub. Otherwise they can't communicate.
Sure.
But it's, I mean, those things are getting cheaper and cheaper. I like people are looking at full-on inverters. Like, load shedding's not bad enough where I'm like, oh god, I need to find something that will power my TV and my consoles. Like, nah, I don't give a shit. So I mean, our office now that we're back in the office is the same. We have a UPS for the internet around the office, and that's it. So, Uber, who has their offices next to us, have a fucking generator that is so loud. It goes on as soon as it's so loud, and no one works there. I swear to God, no one works there. Like, I walk past that door all the time, and it's these gorgeous offices. Like, I can see no one's there. There's no one there. Of course, the desks are always empty.
They're too busy driving out on the road. They're Ubering people.
It's bullshit. No one works at that company.
My goodness. We have a question from Megs who says, Wait, I've lost it. Oh, butter, margarine, and why? Now,
it really depends.
Yeah, I can
depends on
answer
what
this.
you're using it for.
In my experience, if you're buttering bread, margarine.
Excuse me?
I love butter. I'm the first person to I love butter, but I hate buttering shit with actual butter. Hang on, before you judge me, okay, let me just make my claim here, okay. If I'm cooking, I like to use butter, not oil. I prefer to melt a little bit of butter. Yeah, I know you're very shocked. But I do present my middle ground, buttro.
What the fuck is that?
You know what buttro is?
I'm sorry, you can't be shocked at where you've just said you'd rather have margarine on your bread and use butter to cook instead, like a monster.
Buttro.
And then I'm like, what the hell's buttro?
Buttro is like a middle ground. It's like a butter, but it's easy to spread.
See, I always thought that's what margarine was. Like, if you got spreading margarine, you put it on bread, and it was because it was always just easier to spread because it's essentially just fat.
Buttro is the middle ground. It's good. It's real good.
Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Now that you've judged me, please tell me your
Me, it was always a thing when I went to my grandmother's house when I was smaller. She would always have the spread like margarine. So toast to me always tasted weird. I just didn't. I prefer butter on my toast, But I get you. Spreading butter is hard unless you leave it in the sun and then it goes bad. So it's like,
yeah. So listen, I'll always choose butter over margarine, but it's.
No, it's way harder to spread. Like, I get you.
Why is Lenska laughing at me?
She's just realizing now she's married a monster.
I don't know what she said to me.
So, if it's on a sandwich or on bread, it's like butter for sure. And, when I'm cooking, it, again, depends. Like, butter sometimes is good for certain things. Margarine is good and oil is good for other things. Like, usually when I'm cooking steak, it will be a little bit of oil and a lot of margarine, actually, to get a good... You need that fat, You
judge me.
I mean, I do judge you. My parents, actually, they went away recently, and they went to, like, a game reserve, and they obviously chose vegan as their dietary options because they're vegetarian, but, like, whatever. And they were introduced to this new... like vegan butter, which my mom is like, she's tried a bunch of vegan butters before, but she's like, this is the first one that like is unbelievable. It's like they actually asked the waiter, they're like, please, we don't want butter, we vegan. He's like, no, that is vegan.
Oh my word.
And they were like, what? Like,
what?
Yeah. So yeah,
sure.
Need to find that because apparently it's fucking good.
My goodness.
And then it will just be better for your heart potentially. So yeah. Isn't that always a thing that like use margarine? It's better for your heart or something like that. Like,
yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Cholesterol.
Don't know.
We're all gonna die to it one day.
One day.
Now that I've figured out you're a monster, now I can really officially fight.
Only now.
This is ridiculous. What is Lenska's take on this? I want to know.
But margarine or butter? What would you choose?
Margarine or butter? Yeah.
See, she says
butter.
butter.
See, yeah.
Okay,
she's normal.
Hang on, butter or buttro?
I don't know what butter is.
Buttro because it's easier to spread. See, what did I say?
Okay, so what is buttro? Like, is it an amalgamation of both of them?
It's just an easy to spread butter. I'm telling you, it's a middle ground. Buttro.
So it's an actual.
Yeah,
it's not
like
even just like a. I spelled buttro, and the fourth hit on Google is buttro surname origin, which made me laugh.
Buttro.
Buttro.
I'm telling you,
buttro, butter spread. Interesting.
Buy a little baby tub of it, and you'll thank me because it's like butter, but it's easy to spread. None of this blocky nonsense. Have you ever taken butter out of the fridge? You're like, I just want to butter my fresh Portuguese roll, and then like you end up, destroying the poor roll because you're like, sort of put lumps of butter on.
Let me tell you, I clicked Google Images because I wanted to see if they have like like a canister of this, and all I've been served are a bunch of people who clearly have this as their last name, a restaurant in Hong Kong called Buttro, and then MagSafe wallets for the iPhone. Just
well,
even Google doesn't know what the fuck this shit is. Oh,
my goodness.
Okay, then, I'll find it.
And then last question from Chiloza, who asked a question on Instagram, and I didn't save it because this is evening. I thought I would have had it. Instagram story, it disappeared, but I remember it was something along the lines of, What will be the last big drama in Formula One this year?
Oh God! Oh my God! Listen. The Formula One this year is just unbelievable. Just such a great.
You've got to predict the drama. What's happening?
Oh, it's just such a great season. I'm loving every second of it. I don't know, man. I'm sort of the opinion that Max will win this season, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as some people are making it seem. They're like, oh, he won in Austin. Oh, he's now the next 2 tracks are Red Bull tracks, so it's like pretty much done. There's going to be twists and turns, and I'm super stoked. Like there's 5 races left, and
wow. That's actually a lot. 5 races in the next 2 months.
Yeah. So there's Mexico tomorrow. Then next week is Brazil. Then the week after that is
oh my goodness, it's back to
Saudi Arabia. Then there's a week break, and then there's Abu Dhabi and Singapore, I think.
Abu Dhabi. Okay.
Get out of here.
Nice. That's all the questions.
And that's the episode. Good Lord. Batro and Yabba Dabba Doo. What am I even doing here anymore?
Abu Dhabi Doo.
Oh my God. If you want to send us questions, you can email us checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also message us on all the social platforms, as we said before.
Thanks for all the questions. Those were nice, varied questions from lots of people, which is always greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that's been episode 167 of Checkpoint Chat. As always, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week, as always, with more games.
Depending
and more
on
tortoise stories.
On ESCOM's plans.
Yeah, depending on ESCOM's plans.
If we hit load shedding stage 8, no episode, because let me tell you, we'll never find a gap, and neither of us have generators, so... Yeah, please ESCOM.
Essentially.
Please, don't kill us.
please ESCOM.
Please, sir. Cool.
May I have some more?
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. Okay, bye.
Goodbye.